guys, I am Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Masters of the Universe Club Grayskull Filmation Tung Lashor from Super 7. So a lot of the characters that appeared in the original cartoon series are a little bit different looking than their toy counterparts, but Tung Lashor is one of those characters who has a completely different look, and thus he's one that I personally always wanted to see proper in action figure form, and now we have it. He comes in this enclosed Castle Grayskull themed box with the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe logo on the back. This right here is a nice slip cover that we can pull right off the box that reveals a window fully showcasing our action figure within. Very cool packaging here. You can see just how different Tung Lashor looks. We've got an alternate head. We've got some cool accessories. So pretty cool stuff here. When we flip this around to the backside, we've got a great image of the animated version of Tung Lashor standing in front of the Fright Zone. And on the bottom portion of the box, we have a brand new bio for the character. So let's go ahead and get Tung Lashor pulled out of this box and get a closer look at him. Alright, let's go ahead and take a closer look at the Filmation version of Tung Lashor. Holy cow, this is one goofy looking dude. And man, just wait till we get to the comparison time. He looks like a completely different character. It's kind of insane to me that this is Tung Lashor. For the most part, when Filmation included characters in the cartoons, they still pretty much resembled the toys that we were playing with. So it's amazing to me that they just really drifted so far apart from what we saw with that classic toy that was, bright purple and much more frog-like. This guy still doesn't look very snake-like. I guess he kind of looks more snake-like, at least, than toy Tung Lashor. I don't know. Very, very different looking. And of course, he's a member of the evil Hoard this time. And he's got a really wacky color scheme because he's got like this bright blue torso with the Hoard emblem, but then his skin's like maroon, and then he's got these ugly mustard yellow pants. There's a lot of weird stuff going on with Tung Lashor here. So one of the things that I'm going to be a little nitpicky on with this guy, the paint deco that they use specifically on the yellow of his pants and the maroon of his body, it's done in kind of like this almost chalky, flat tone. And I kind of don't like it, especially compared to you can see the torso there's got a bit of that gloss to it, like that plasticky shine. And I understand a lot of the Filmation figures have had that more flat-like look because they're trying to capture the animated look of these characters, but I don't know, something about like this chalky red just doesn't look very good to me. And it always makes me a little worried about paint scratches. In fact, right out of the box, this guy's got a giant blue smudge on his head, and I don't even know how that happened. Must have happened when he was getting packaged. But yeah, there's just like this big blue smudge up here that I can't get to come off just by using my fingernails. So that is a bit of a bummer. The overall sculpt, though, I mean, the Horseman did a great job of capturing the weird likeness of this particular version of Tung Lashor. He's just a very goofy looking guy. The torso there basically looks almost like the regular Buck, I think, but they sculpted, I guess this is a new sculpt because the Hoard logo is sculpted on there, but he's very slender. He looks a lot more slender than a lot of the figures. He's not quite as beefed up as a lot of the other guys. He does just have like the Skeletor style pointy feet there, same thing we see with Filmation Merman. So there's a combination of new stuff and pre-existing parts, but all in all, I mean, he looks good. He looks like the weirdo from the cartoon. So let's go ahead and talk about the articulation with this guy. His head's odd because it's got this longer snout, but it is still ball jointed. You can kind of roll around, look left and right. It's worth noting that he's got an interchangeable head that I'm going to show you in just a bit. A lot of the figures haven't had interchangeable heads recently. Because of he's got a bit of that weird bobble thing going on, which I feel like we haven't seen in a long time. I remember getting that a lot in the early Classics days, so mine definitely has a weird bobble going on there. You can see the way it just kind of bobbles around a little bit on that peg. So the shoulders there are ball jointed. They can go upwards, outwards, forwards, backwards, swivels at the bicep, nice tight ratchet-like joints at the elbows, swivels at the wrist, as well as hinges at the wrist there. You do have an ab crunch. You've got a waist swivel. You've got ball joints at the thigh, so they can go outwards, forwards, and backwards. I will say they're quite loose on my Tung Lashor. They don't seem like they're causing them to fall over or anything, but they feel really loose when I'm moving them around. You've got really tight joints at the knees, though. You can see there's a little bit of paint peeling going on, though. I don't know if you can really notice that, and that's kind of what I was worried about with this particular paint deco. Swivels at the boot cut, and then the feet at the ankles can move up and down, as well as slightly rock side to side. So articulation, pretty much exactly the same as what we've seen on the other Filmation versions of these characters. So let's talk about that interchangeable head, which is the tongue head. You know, since he's Tung Lashor, we got to have a version of the head with the long tongue extended. So you can pop the head off the ball joint there. However, I did run into that issue where I had to heat up the new head the first time in order to get it on. The plastic is really hard on these heads. So if you just use a hair dryer, put it on a low setting, kind of warm up the plastic a little bit, it just softens it enough to where you can pop it on the ball joint. And then after you do it the first time, it should kind of loosen it up so it's not too hard to do it going forward. Of course, here I am struggling with it. There we go. Boom. See, so I was able to pop it on after that. So after the first time, you should be able to swap the heads out. But there you go. The head sculpt looks very similar, except the mouth is slightly open on this one, and we've got that extended tongue. So, you know, kind of makes him look a little bit more like Tung Lashor when we've got the extended tongue there. So he comes with 2 accessories. First of all, he's got this little laser blaster there. Very simplistic in design. Has that very Filmation look to it. Again, like a lot of the weapons we've seen in this line, it's got a flat coat of paint on there. So you do want to watch out for any paint peeling because his hands are very tight. Look at that. You really got to kind of work the hands in. And you can see I did scratch the paint just a little bit there. So that's a bummer. Something you want to watch out for. The other accessory is a Hoard issued jetpack. Yep. He's got a weird little jetpack there. There's just like this little peg on his back that can plug right there into the peg hole. So boom, now we've got this cool little jetpack. It's form fitted for the sculpt of his back, so it kind of sits there nicely. Actually, it's a nice tight peg too, which I really like. So now we've got this silly looking jetpack on our silly looking Tung Lashor figure. All right, guys, it's comparison time. Whoa! These look like 2 completely different characters. It's crazy looking at these 2 side by side. But you know what? Getting the Filmation version of Tung Lashor in this line is something that's really exciting to me. Because he was always such a character that looks so different, I'm glad to get an action figure of this particular version because he really stands out in the collection as something very, very unique. So there you go, my friends, a look at the brand new Filmation version of Tung Lashor from the folks at Super 7. He's a new member of the evil Hoard to add to your Filmation lineup. Not one that we probably thought we were going to be getting. He's not a traditional Hoard member, but like I said, I love getting the weirdos like this, and I think he's a great fit for the collection. Overall, I really like him. Some minor flaws with kind of the flat paints peeling and stuff like that, but otherwise, he's a pretty solid action figure, and he looks awesome. He's so weird, man. I love it. So this guy was available by pre-order only. If you missed out on that, your only chance of getting him at this point is to find him on the secondary market. Otherwise, I would stay tuned to super7.com for future release announcements. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, leave me a comment to let me know what you think, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, my friends.